Good evening and welcome to a new episode of Sudan in a Week. Today we are addressing a crisis that the world's cameras have largely turned away from. Yet it represents one of the most dangerous threats to African stability in the modern era. Sudan is currently bleeding. What began as a political struggle has devolved into a systematic attempt by the Rapid Support Forces, a militia with roots in the Janjaweed, to dismantle a sovereign state. But behind the smoke of the battlefield lies a complex web of international interests, gold smuggling, and a resurgence of neo-colonialist ambition. From the halls of the International Criminal Court to the offices of the US Treasury, we are seeing a pattern of external interference. Sanctions are being weaponized based on questionable intelligence, often serving to embolden militias while trying the hands of the Sudanese legitimate army. Meanwhile, European military hardware is surfacing in the hands of terrorists, and regional neighbors find themselves entangled in a web of support for the very forces tearing Sudan apart. To make sense of this geopolitical storm, we are joined by a man who has dedicated his life to the defense of African sovereignty. Dr. David Matsanga, chairman of the Pan-African Forum, is an investigative powerhouse and a staunch advocate for African solutions to African problems. Today, we go beyond the headlines to expose the gold mafia, the failure of regional diplomacy, and the urgent need for a unified African front to prevent Sudan from falling into the hands of those who would see it parched and plundered. Dr. Matsanga, it is an honor to have you with us.
Thank you very much for inviting me to your television station. And thank you very much, fellow Africans, peacemakers, peace lovers across Africa. I stand for peace. I stand for every type of effort that can bring back peace in Sudan.
Dr. Matsanga, I want to start with you to talk about the crimes and international accountability. Recent reports in 2026 have documented serious violations in areas like El Fasher, allegedly involving the Rapid Support Forces. Yet, at the same time, we will see the international actors engaging with Hamidati as a political figure. How do you explain this contradiction?
First of all, I want to be on the record that I am not here to apportion blame, but I'm here to educate. I am here to urge both sides that both of them broke international law. One, they started a war. They are my friends. Both General Hamid and General Burhan are friends of me. They know me. They know this face for a long time. Because from 1994, I have worked with them on the Uganda crisis. They know my face. And I told them it was wrong for you to have gone to war, both of you. I have been writing, if you look at my letters, I wrote to both General Hamid and General Burhan, urging them that International Criminal Court is not your best ally, because they will definitely turn on you. Don't hand in Bashir. Once you hand in Bashir, next is you to be handed in. So for me, on this one, I'm going to be balanced. I'm going to give a blame that, one, it was wrong for them to start a war themselves, fight against themselves. Now, if the international community, which is targeting only one side, but looking on the other one, both sides have committed crimes. And therefore, for me, as an international, an African, Pan-African, I tell the truth, both of them have liability. They are liable to court, and there's nobody going to escape.
Is this a case of political pragmatism outweighing accountability, in your opinion?
Nothing outweighs accountability. And accountability, I have resolved the conflicts in Africa before. You know, I was the chief mediator of the Uganda peace process between Konyi and Museveni. We put up guidelines on how to bring both Konyi and Museveni on table. And that's what I want to do. That's what I'm pushing. I'm not America, which is pushing one side. I am deep neutral. I want both sides to come and say, this is our Sudan. Crimes have been committed. People have committed crimes in all parts of Sudan. There's no part of Sudan which has no crime committed. All. The only thing is the magnitude of crimes committed in Al-Fasher and in Darfur, which worries everybody. But crimes in the internal Sudan, the whole Sudan have been committed. And there is nobody going to run away from international law. Both of the generals have to point it to us out who to seal this, to redempt, to create an atmosphere for peace.
Let me be direct here, Dr. David. Should figures accused of such actions be part of political processes at all, in your opinion?
First of all, peace is my sister, peace is very, very funny. Can Mr. Trump be part of the opinion of trumping others, going to Iran, dismantle it, going to this way, dismantle it, Gaza Strip, dismantle. But at the end of the day, when you want peace, even these figures have to come on the table. Yes, they have, unfortunately. How many years did Kony kill people in northern Uganda? 23. But we had to bring him on table. It is the same generals who told me we have to do peace. They remember me. Look, show them my face. When I came to Khartoum, they said we have to bring peace. Therefore, I'm calling upon both of them, General Burhan and General Hamid, to come on the table. They should not hide. No. We have to bring Sudan, a peaceful Sudan. Therefore, both have to come and face each other. Say, I'm sorry, we committed crimes, we have killed people. Don't apply. The moment you start apportioning blame, that's what America wants. Why is America crying louder? Because what is it also doing in Jeddah? I can tell you what they are doing in Jeddah can shock you, but I don't want to go into that subject right now. Let's come back as Africans. All General Burhan is an African. General Hamid is an African. Things have happened. What do we do?
During the al-Bashir era, the ICC pursued Sudanese leadership over the actions of militias like the Janjaweed. Today, many observers say similar patterns are being repeated by the Rapid Support Forces. From a legal perspective, what options exist to address this situation at the international level?
First of all, I am not a friend of ICC. I hate it. You want me to tell you the truth? I hate it because it has selective justice. Selective. What Americans tell them is where they go. How many people have been slaughtered in Sudan now? They have not come in. Where is their warrant of arrest? Where is it? Where is it? Those days they came in and selected. Selective. Why the cases of Sudan collapsed is selective justice by the chief prosecutor of International Criminal Court against Bashir. I am one of the few people in the world who stood for Bashir. I said the moment you allow Bashir to be taken to this stupid court in ICC in The Hague, commanders like Burhan, commanders like Hamid will be the ones taken. Because Bashir is about to die anyway. He's going to die. I'm not going to tell him to die today. But he will die. Who is going to be alive? These were the commanders of Janjaweed. Let's not be honest. My sister, be honest. Wasn't Burhan the commander of Janjaweed? Yes, he was. Wasn't Hamid the commander of Janjaweed? He was.
Yeah.
Yes, so now, if you say you are checking, I warned them. I wrote it. You check my letter. I told them, if you take Bashir to the stupid court, a stupid, obnoxious court called ICC, you will be the ones to be taken. So don't. That one, I am happy. Wherever Bashir is, let him be. But some of us saw the cases of Bashir as one-sided. Why do you pick Bashir? America hated Bashir because of Al-Qaeda, because of Osama bin Laden. That's it. There is nothing more. These things do happen everywhere in Africa. And they hated Bashir because he gave shelter to Osama bin Laden, whom they had been following to kill, but they failed to kill. You remember when they bombed the factory in Khartoum? You remember? Bashir, that's it. That's why America has hated Bashir. And they wanted Bashir to die in prison. Some of us said no. So,
Dr. David,
for me,
do you think that there is a pathway for formally designating such groups under international frameworks? And how realistic is that in today's political climate?
there is a way. And the only way to find out, there are 5 ways of solving a conflict. Number 1, truth telling. Number 2, a reconciliation. Number 3, accountability. Accountability. Very important. Both generals have to come to table and face. Number 4, restitution, to bring back reparation. Number 5, which is reintegration,
Yeah.
and doing everything that is needed in peace. We have to begin by saying, accepting that we killed.
But what are the main obstacles preventing concrete legal actions?
America.
Do you think that there are any other obstacles that prevent these actions?
No, America knows exactly. Why has America taken sides? Is America not part of the people who gained from this war? Look at it. They are part of the people. They are part of the people who gained from this war. But they are now one-sided. They don't want to accuse the other side. That's one obstacle. The second obstacle is the lack of initiative to expose the heinous crimes that Sudan has undergone. We have no platform. United Nations is a barking dog that has left us being killed while they can't go concretely to bring a peace conference where General Burhan, General Hamid come and sit and we say, what do you want? You want to kill everybody in Sudan? You want to kill everybody in Al-Fasha? Then rule what? Whom do you want? You want to kill everybody in Sudan, then you rule an empty land. We need to bring them on the table. Those initiatives are the ones that we need to push now. We don't need to push, my sister, condemnation.
This is what brings us to the second topic about Western double standards and the politicization of sanctions. The U.S. Treasury continues to impose sanctions on Sudanese national institutions based on claims linking the Muslim Brotherhood to the Islamic movement. How do you view this deliberate conflation aimed at serving the agenda of the rebel militia?
Selective justice, selective institutions, poor foreign policy, stupid, a foolish foreign policy of Donald Trump. And we have to call him out because he has become a bully, useless. He enters wars and he can't come out. Now he's crying so loud that he will bomb some places to old Stone Age. Are they your mother's home? Are they your mother's home? You have your home. Why do you want to bomb other people's homes? Selective justice. That cannot be accepted. That is, you now select. Why can't you say, instead of, paining, anguishing the people of Sudan more, bring them on the table. A big brother would say, no, please come and sit in Geneva. We want you to resolve this problem. But you are now going out selectively to put sanctions. I am one of the few people who believes that sanctions in Africa don't work. Selective sanctions, whether targeted, they don't work. A president will always send Dr. Matanga to buy a suit. If you put sanctions on President Mugabe, for example, you go and buy suits for him. What does he want in London? What does he want in Washington? Matsanga doesn't want to go to Washington. What do you want in Washington?
But some analysts,
in the United Kingdom.
Dr.
Yes.
David, some analysts suggest that statements and policies coming from the US are being used by the RSF in their messaging against the Sudanese army. From a diplomatic perspective, how can Sudan address this and present its position more clearly to the US administration?
Sudan has got to stick to Africa Point Group. We have a AU point group. It should not dilute it. Sudan, my country, Uganda, is the point chair of all this conflict in Sudan. And it has not taken sides, neither has it taken sides on Hamid. And they allow even General Burhan to fly into Kampala. They are allowed to come and express their views. We should not, you see, if Sudan wants to get out of this quagmire, it is the only government that we remain recognizing, despite having a military coup, that we remain on the statute. Burhan is holding the power in Khartoum. That's the government recognized by UN. That is still there. Therefore, it should act as bigger than what it is, to get a diplomatic channel, to agree that let's have peace talks, then point out the killers, then point out those who have killed people, then point out that this is not good, then point out which other recommendations that we want to be imposed on people who have slaughtered people. If we don't do that, if Sudan doesn't do that, and it continues to be aggressive against everybody, then they won't be able to penetrate the big area of the Great Lakes region and the entire Africa, which has taken sides. And I agree. That's why you see South Sudan is fragile, because they never listened to Dr. Matsanga's advice. You can't do anything without accountability. Accountability is most important. So let the government of Khartoum insist on having a conference with accountability. They sit down. Let them not, it is not your problem now. Just call for the conference, agree to go for a conference in a neutral place. Then you present your papers. We shall present those who have committed crimes, and the international law will take its course.
This is what I wanted to ask about, Dr. David. If you want to talk about international ambitions and resource exploitation, there have been reports suggesting links between gold trade networks and the financing of armed groups in Sudan. How do you interpret these connections within the broader context of competition over natural resources in Africa?
Yes, that is true that American foreign policy has become commercial foreign policy, diplomacy. America, if you have gold or oil and you don't give them, they will slaughter you. And they buy this gold through proxies. Let's be honest. So that one, according to the investigations and the reports that are laid here, yes, it has become a trading pattern indirectly of these commodities. And if you don't give them, then they don't support you. We have seen it in Congo, when the Congolese president said, I will give you gold, lithium, diamonds. Mr. Trump said, come quickly. Come quickly and sign this agreement. So it is sad that a whole country developed still wants more territory, still wants more confusion, still wants more of these commercial entities like gold, diamonds, and other things to be traded. Sudan has plenty of that, and it gives access to so many forces. But let me make one point clear, that for peace to grow, we must allow and organize and mobilize even the other side. It must be mobilized, it must be told, you are going astray. If you don't do that, so General Burhan, my good friend Burhan, should look at me and listen to my lips. Please, don't think that when Mr. Hamid moves in Uganda or Kenya, people don't like you. They like you. But every refugee, wherever he goes, he has to be assembled in order for peace to come. because I have an experience of Kony. Kony had to be in Sudan where General Burhan was a member.
Do you see
General
this
Burhan
as part of a larger pattern of external influence in resource-rich regions? And to what extent could local actors be playing a role in this dynamic?
Definitely, local actors and the regional actors play hand in hand. The code is an accelerating, anything which is commercial accelerates a war. Wars are created because of the mercantile capitalism system that the world faces. My sister, that is the bottom line. Why America is bombarding Iran is commercialism. What else? You know, what else? What else? Everybody has a leader. What else? What is it helping us to bombard a country, Lebanon? What else? Commercialism. Everybody has interest. So regional interests like the ones in Africa, we have so many groups in Africa that are interested. Some of them don't want Sudan to be a united Sudan, a one Sudan. They want Sudan to be separated. So those are some of the factors that we can address in a peace process.
Some analysts describe these dynamics as a form of modern or somehow indirect control over resources. Do you agree with that characterization?
Yes. Yes. I 100%. Some of the things, you know, whoever is targeting, whoever is causing, whoever is behind wants a domination. You know, the work, and there must be somebody. Nobody gives you something for free.
And are these developments driven more by global interests or internal weaknesses, in your opinion?
First, both factors work, in my opinion. But some people internally are not patriotic, and external forces need to use some of those people.
What would it take for countries like Sudan to regain full control over their resources?
They have to come back on table. They have to call for a peace. In fact, if Sudan, General Burhan should be the one calling for a peace process. Come back quickly. He should not say, I don't want to meet Hamid. No. No, I speak my mind. Let him not say that. Let him meet him. Yes, we know the crimes. The crimes are documented. Wait. The crimes are documented. Let's be honest. There's no way you are going to take away these crimes. They're already there. But we have to meet him somewhere, sit down with him, and say, why did you kill people in Alifasha? Why did you kill people in Kordofan? Why did you kill people in this area, in that area? We have to face this on a peace process on table. If we isolate, it will go on and on and on.
If we want to talk about the Pan-African role, Dr. David, what role can the Pan-African Forum play in protecting Sudan from falling into the trap of new colonialism led by specific regional and international powers?
Some of us can speak for them. Unfortunately, when you write to these organizations, to the government of Sudan, it doesn't answer you. When you write to Hamid, he doesn't answer you. They prefer dealing with people who like them. I'm their friend here. I've told them, seek my advice. The people you are seeking from advice don't know you. I know these guys from 1994, but they don't want to come to me because I speak my mind. I wouldn't encourage Sudan to be dismembered. No way. No way. I was there with Mbeki. You can see my picture with Mbeki here. We solved the Darfur crisis. I am not going to be part of allowing Sudan to be divided. I want a one Sudan. I want Sudan. I want to speak on their behalf because all of them are angry and are now angry. You need somebody who is not angry like me, neutral, to speak on behalf of Sudan.
Dr. David, I would like to ask you from a purely African perspective, how can the gold mafia, which destabilizes African economies and supports insurgencies in Sudan and the Sahel, be effectively dismantled?
Thank you very much for that question. It can be dismantled by African Union. by us African Union putting stringent measures within the African Union. But unfortunately, the political security and the peace commission of African Union is dead. It has been captured. The chairperson of African Union is biased already. He has taken sides. He doesn't come out to speak openly to condemn some of this. But what Africa can do, because these resources are needed much outside, they are needed by other countries, not ourselves. We don't have the will to, for example, if you ask for a factory of diamonds on African continent, it is only in one place in Botswana where they have started a small factory. Most of the diamonds are exported out to Europe, to Antwerp, in Brussels. If you ask for gold refinery, the only person who has made a gold refinery on African continent is Burkina Faso president, Captain Traoré. He has now built a big gold smelter, which can smelt all the African gold there and pack it. So we need to start to look for avenues that will harness our potential, our resources, and exclude these gold systems, mafia systems that you call mafia systems. They will die, because if you have your own African regulations, African rules on African continent, and having them to be sold in one African unit or in regional bank, we don't have that bank. Therefore, these, mafia systems, all these places, these people, cabals, they come and steal this. They pick, the cabals are very shrewd, extending into Europe, expanding into America. American companies, Australian companies, Middle East companies coming into Africa to buy specifically minerals, to buy our resources. Yet we can make our resources on this continent.
Speaking of regional complicity, Dr. David, it is well known that Addis Ababa and Nairobi have provided political and logistical leverage to the RSF leadership and its civilian fronts. Does the African Union possess the political will to restrain these states from interfering in Sudanese internal affairs?
First of all, accusations of interference is rampant on African Union, in African continent, very rampant. But I want to educate some people here. Refugees come to your country. What does Kenya do? Does it send them away? No.
No.
If they have come to your country, you have to process them. You have to give them documents for them to be. They have come and said, we can't go back to Sudan because there is war. What does Kenya do? What does Uganda do? What does Ethiopia do? What does Chad do? It does the same. Just as if there is a problem, where does Mr. Burhan go? He will go to Saudi Arabia. With Saudi Arabia will not run him away. So equally, these accusations of Uganda, of Kenya, and Addis Ababa is because the refugees are many. They are the nearest countries where they can run to. But it should not be a big problem to the government in Khartoum. The government in Khartoum should equally now start talking to those governments. Talk to the governments and tell that government that, please, we are all African in African Union. This is the position, this ABCD. That's where the mistake has been. We are not talking. Instead, we are talking at each other, not with each other. Let's start talking with each other. Let General Burhan call his friends, visit Addis Ababa, visit Nairobi, discuss this with the governments in Nairobi to say why there is a war in my country. This is what I need you to help me. That, I think, will help the situation other than accusation and talking at each other.
Dr. David, one last question regarding the supply chains and arms smuggling. Military equipment has reached the RSF through the port of Buzazo and across the Ethiopian border. Why has the international community failed to monitor and dry up these supply routes via the Red Sea?
Now, the smuggling of arms can be, I am not going to be categorical to condemn any country which, without documentation and evidence. You have the evidence in the studio yourself. But I'm saying smuggling can be done in so many ways. So many ways of smuggling. Even, you know, you have talked of gold. Gold is a powerful machine which you can buy, even smuggling. There is a problem in that region. And that region has a problem. And I want to tell you here, and I want the world to listen to me. One of the biggest problems we have in that region is General Khalifa Haftar. Who is Khalifa Haftar? Who has divided Libya into two. General Khalifa Haftar killed Muammar Gaddafi's son. Yes, and we have to speak the truth. I followed these cases of Sarkozy into Paris. I am one of the few people who gave evidence to the French government until Sarkozy was in prison. So General Khalifa Haftar has got a standing army of 30,000 men south of Libya. What do these people do? My sister, let's talk the truth as Africans. Whose army is this? Tell me, whose army is this? We are getting, our countries are being dismembered around that region. And these are the rings. Next time, call me. I will give you evidence why General Khalifa Haftar has been allowed to operate in that region freely, all the way from Egypt down to that region, causing more mayhem, killings of people. That is, I will not keep quiet. And I will not keep quiet because I warned my general friends long time ago. They did not listen to my advice because I don't have the money. They have the money, but they don't have the brains. Now you see what has happened. They have destroyed the Sudan.
Dr.
I
David,
am not happy.
your
I am
opinions,
neutral on this one. I'm not happy about it.
Your opinions matter on political fronts and the future of the state. Political fronts such as Sumud and Ta'sis are emerging as civilian wings for the militia. How can the Sudanese national forces block these groups from attempting to politically legitimize their rebellion?
By having a public relations exercise. You should also put up a public relations exercise, talking like the way we are talking. The biggest problem is African governments don't pay people. They pay white people up there to talk, but they can't pay Dr. Matsanga even a penny to talk. Yet I know more about Khartoum. Yet I know more about River Nile. Yet I know more about cotton. Yet I know more about maize grown in Sudan. They pay people. You know, both groups, even Buhari, Burhani, and General Hamid, they pay foreign groups. They don't want to pay Matsanga to talk on their behalf. You find them with white guys in hotels that they are looking for information. Yet these white guys come to ask Matsanga, where does the River Nile begin from? Hello! The government of Sudan should start a public relations exercise. Appear, call us and we speak. We speak on international issues. Tell the truth. Don't call in people who are taking your money, yet they cannot influence even a small rat to come out of your hole. No, that's where the government of Sudan has failed. It has failed in terms of having the right people to do their PR. We have companies that do PR. My company does PR. I stood by General Bashir. I stood firm and proud for having stood for that guy. You not take him to jail. You can jail him in Sudan, but not ICC. Why don't you use me? Why are you not using me? Now you think I don't know where General Bashir is? I know. I stood and opposed the ICC. I am the right person to do it, but people don't come to us. People don't ask us. They pay white mercenaries to do their PR, who don't know where River Nile is, who don't know where Darfur is. Both sides, Ramit and and Burhan. They do it, and they are my generals of my age. So what will they do? I'm telling them today. They better know. Yes, they better know. Some of them are younger than me. One of them is younger than me. They better know.
So
they better know this.
Everything we talked about today means that the tragedy in Sudan is a wake-up call for the entire continent. And as we have discussed, the survival of the African nation state depends on our ability to reject external manipulation and silence the guns of militias. Dr. David, I would like to thank you very much, Dr. David Matsanga, the chairman of the Pan-African Forum, for your bold insights and for championing the cause of a truly independent Africa. Thank you very much, Dr. David. It was a pleasure to host you and to meet you.
Thank you very much. My sister, continue with the good work. Let Sudan be united. We want one Sudan, not several Sudans. Nobody will divide the Sudan. Therefore, we want the generals to come on the table and face each other, tell us their problems, we shall solve them. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Dr. David, and thank you for watching. Stand firm, and goodbye. See you in the next episode of Sudan in a Week.